Hey, what is going on, friend amigos? Carter here. We're going to take a look at the Cold Steel Espada. I am a Cold Steel fan. I know it confuses some people because I am a proponent. Wait, does that make sense? Proponent. No. I am a supporter of American-made knife companies, and I generally choose them over others. However, I know what I like, and I still like me some Cold Steel. Out of all the more inexpensive knife companies out there, I tend to gravitate towards Cold Steel over all of them. A couple reasons for that. One, I think it's a fun company. They do a lot of fun knives, kind of like this one here. They kind of just bring the kid out in you, but then they also do generally more practical versions of that same knife. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to get a medium or large version, whoops, of something, and then get like the extra large version just for fun. And of course, I am a well-known fan of Andrew Demko and his designs, as well as his triad lock. I think it's one of the most yet underappreciated locks out there. And what I mean by that is it's appreciated in terms of Cold Steel is killing it. You know, they sell thousands and thousands of units. A lot of people love Cold Steel knives and own them. However, in terms of the higher end collectors and enthusiasts, the more mature knife enthusiasts, Cold Steel's frowned upon. So you kind of got that dichotomy. You know, on one hand, you got more of these out there than, you know, I mean, they're everywhere. Cold Steel knives, people love them. Non-knife people love them. They're affordable, they're strong, and yet real knife enthusiasts mock them. So it's kind of interesting. But anyways, on to the video. This is the G10 version of their large Espada. And by G10 version, I mean earlier, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, something like that, they released the Espada in kind of a semi-dress version. It had a satin blade, had polished aluminum bolsters, and it had contoured, polished G10. So it was a real shiny, classy looking giant blade. I actually had the large. I sold it. Kind of regret it, but kind of don't. I actually prefer the look of this one. A little more subdued, a little simpler, and yet it packs all the same punch. And by punch, I mean this giant 5.5-inch blade. Look at that. That is brutal. Bead blasted finish, which looks really nice. However, it is prone to rusting. Os 8 is not the most rust resistant steel out there. So when you put a bead blasted finish on it, jeez, how many times am I going to do that? You put a bead blasted finish in this thing, and it's a little bit of a recipe for rust disaster, if you know what I mean. Lock back, triad lock right there. One thing that I found interesting in their execution on this knife is it more or less has solid G10 scales. You can see here there's no liners in here. However, they do put an insert over on this top portion here. You can see the steel, I assume steel, that goes all the way down to here. And it's actually a milled out relief in this scale. So here is the line where the backspacer meets the scale. They mill it out so they can put in these inserts. I found that interesting. For one, you know, that's pretty classy on their part. I assume the reason for that is to give additional strength to this area up here. You can see it stops right there, so I'm not sure if it comes around the pivot or not. I'm not thinking it does. It seems to have a primary purpose of holding these pins here. I mean, I could be wrong on this, I'm speculating. However, their Recon 1 series, which uses the same lock, does not have any sort of steel insert in there. So I'm not sure why this does and the Recon 1 series doesn't. I don't know if they're just trying to class this one up or quality this one up a little bit more. I'm not sure. But there you have it. So they actually took the time to mill that out, so they didn't add extra weight. It would have been easier, I assume, just to have full steel or full aluminum liners rather than do these partial ones where they have to mill out the scales. But could be wrong on that. What a cool blade, though. I mean, a little too big for practical carry. I got this mainly just to enjoy, to show off, maybe do some bottle cutting videos or something. You know, these large and extra large cold steels, in my opinion, are mainly just kind of a novelty, fun type thing. They contain all the same materials and quality you'll find in their more practically sized versions, but they're just ridiculously oversized. You can see how big that is. You know, but if you do want to carry this, you can. It does fit in the pocket, most pockets. They do that by adjusting this pocket clip. So the larger size you go with their knives, the higher it's going to ride in your pocket. So what they're doing is they're taking note of this distance right here, and basically making sure it'll fit in larger size pockets. I wear dress pants or at least slacks, cotton slacks, for a good portion of my week. So that does affect what comfortably carries. There's not a lot of space in the back part of the pocket with those because it has a straight cut pocket top. If that makes any sense at all. Those that wear slacks know what I'm talking about. So it makes it near impossible to carry something like this. But, you know, maybe on Friday when I get to wear jeans, or on the weekend, it's kind of fun to carry something like this just so you can show it to people. But for me, first and foremost, these are just cool knives to have, and they don't break the bank, so I enjoy them. All right, guys, just a quick look at this knife here. You know, not an in-depth review. There's plenty out there. I just wanted to show it off and share a few thoughts. Definitely a fun knife, though. All right, guys. Later.